Okay, I took my camera for about a 30-minute walk this evening, and I thought I'd talk about something that I've always thought would be a really great idea for a YouTube channel or a video podcast, and that's taking a look at photographers and how they actually work a scene. And this is a great reminder for me because when I do street photography, especially, am more of a hunter. In other words, I'm always walking around and constantly scanning for interesting scenes and moments to take a picture. And sometimes that works out, and sometimes it doesn't. But there is another way to look at street photography, and that is to think about it as fishing. And fishing is more finding a scene, finding composition, finding great light, finding a moment, finding an interesting character, and staying there, being patient and working the scene. And in the old days, the film days, there were contact sheets, and you could take a look at a contact sheet and you could see in a red marker exactly what photo the photographer selected as his or her best image. Now, sometimes it was the last image, but oftentimes it might have been the first image or somewhere in the middle. But either way, it was so fascinating to me to take a look at how a photographer worked a scene and why they chose a particular image as the best image. And speaking of that, oftentimes, I just shot this evening, so I have had no time to let this marinate at all. The photo that I pick now, today, this evening, as one that I think is the best one, I may have a totally different opinion a month from now. And that's a good lesson that we have to have some distance, emotional distance from our photos before we can really judge which ones are the best photos. Here's a couple other disclaimers. I'm not claiming that the photograph that I got today is going to win any awards. In fact, I have lots of regrets about it, but it is a great sketchbook image, and I think that I could capture something really interesting if I come back in a similar time with this light and work this scene the same way. And so let's talk a little bit about what we have here. So I walked into the block. This is Moolah, and I am not affiliated with Moolah in any way, but they have the best tacos in town. And I really like the golden light here. I like the old building. I love the signage. I love the fact that we've got some diners. It's a Monday night, so it's pretty quiet there. But we have a gentleman here. He might be texting, and he's going to actually, you'll see in a second, he's going to head into the door. And this is really nice. It's really pleasant light, and it's a nice picture. I'm not a fan of this white pickup truck here, but if you wanted to, you can maybe crop that out a little bit. Doesn't need to be in the scene. So I saw the diners here. I saw the beautiful light on them, and I really like that. And I like how the light was hitting this yellow sign. So I thought I'd walk across the street and take a vertical shot of this. And as I crossed the street, I noticed this beautiful pop of light reflecting off of the door here. Now we have the gentleman, he's off the phone and he's heading in. We still have the diners and the signage. We've got the yellow and the blue. Everything obviously works really well in color here. And this looks great. So I go across, get my vertical, boring. This is just not happening. And so I remembered that nice light and I go back to where I was across the street. Now in this case, we have someone else coming in, but she's wearing all black. She's got a black purse, black pants, black shoes, black shirt, and she's totally lost in the black doorway. Just doesn't work. So I, again, try to exercise some patience, and I wait. Something else that I notice is I really want to try to get these shafts of sunburst coming off of the door. That's really hard to do off of a reflection unless it's a mirror. Off of a window, it's really hard to get those hard sunbursts. You have to go to f16. If your lens goes to f22, that's even better. And this lens, while I love it for street photography, it's the new iteration of the 27 millimeter, which is a 40 millimeter equivalent on a crop sensor for the Fujifilm. It's a 2.8. It's a great street lens. It doesn't do so great with these sunbursts. So remembering that for the future, bring a different lens next time and try to get this nice harder to find sunburst. And I will go back and work this scene later. So now we have some people entering the scene. And I'm thinking, I hope they go in to Moolah. They look like they're excited for tacos. We'll see. They go to the door. Yes, they're going in. And now, here's the shot that I chose. I really like that I can see her face and they're entering in. I like the way the sun looks. There's a little bit of wind here happening. I get the signage, but look what I lost. I was so focused on this, I no longer have the diners. And that to me is just a regret. That doesn't make it a complete image. But to me, this is a sketchbook image. And I will remember that at 6:15, I shot this. And on a Friday or a Saturday, it's going to be a lot busier. And I'm going to be able to get a much better image. So all of these photos, I think I mentioned before, are straight out of the camera. They have not been post-processed. So I went ahead and quickly processed this just to bring up the shadows. I also cropped it because this is just a lot of dead space to me. It's not a great composition. And so this is what I came up with. In fact, as I look at it now, it might be a little warm. So I'm going to come in here and just back off a little bit of that warmth. And to me, that looks a lot better right there. So as I said, is this the best image? I'm not sure. I might copy these settings and go back to the one where the gentleman was going in and paste them and see what this looks like. And you know, maybe this one's better because I have the diners. I have a guy going in. Maybe this one's better. Is it this one? Or is it that one? There's something about her gesture that I like better. I just wish that I would have had the diners. So, lesson learned. I'll go back in a few days and I will work the scene some more. So, that is how I work a scene and try to get the best image that I possibly can. Thanks for listening.